All right, what's going on, y'all? So, I've seen this been done on a few channels now, and I really love the style of how it's done. And really, um, it's just great for content, putting it out. So, I figured I'd do it. Yeah, I might have a small channel, but you know what? It's not the size of the channel, it's how you use it. Intro. All right, so a few things we learned from this contest at the DC Pro. One, I can hang with the big boys. I can beat them in their own class. Just need a little bit more development in a few areas, um, and that's fine. Um, you know, it's only up from here, and I'm not too worried about that. I've already got things in place to bring everything up. So the one thing I'm going to go through is some of these pictures. So these are stage pictures from the DC Pro this past June 7th. Now, they didn't take pictures of the um, comparisons, which I wish they would do. It's great they get us in our kind of individual 30-second posing routine, but that's neither here nor there. So right here off the bat, the legs are looking great. Glutes are, there. You're getting a lot of cross striations there in the quads. The hamstrings are popping, which is great. Arms, delts, and everything looks good. Kind of washes out in the back. I mean, you can see it. Like, it's almost virtually fat-free there. Maybe a little bit of water, but there's not a whole lot of definition. So I'm going to bring that up with a lot of more pulls, pull downs that are focusing on the lower portion of the lats. Yes, I know you can't target the lower lats because when you're doing a lat pull, you're hitting everything, but you can feel it a lot better. These are just other stage pictures. Everything else, really, they didn't have any comments about anything else. Everything else looked really good in their eyes. The only thing they had issues with was the lower back, and of course more conditioning. Because you can see here, upper back traps, delts. I mean, the fucking arms are like splitting, pumped. Like getting into this, like I could feel my arms like feeling like they're gonna explode. It's fucking awesome. But you can see here we wash out in the back, so I can see what they're talking about, and I've got a plan to bring those up, and I'll show you here in a minute. But we'll get there. It's not the end of the world. It's not a deal breaker. It's just what's going to make me better. And then as you travel down, I mean, got lines in the glutes, hamstring tie-in to the glutes, right there. Hamstrings are popping. You can see my quads from the sides, barely leaving a gap there. So everything is firing all cylinders. Down below the waist. So I'm happy with that critique because it's something that's in my control and I can change. If they said something like, you just don't have genetics for this, that, and the other, that would kind of suck and I wouldn't know what to do. But all of the critique that they gave me was just more lower back and conditioning. So it's a lot better from last competition where it was a whole slew of things I needed to bring up, which we did this year. So it's all easy. All right, so that is the critiques and what was on stage. Now, what the plan is, we have been kind of coasting for right now for these past 2 weeks and leading into the 8-week mark for the next show. So what I've been doing and what I'm going to continue to do is a 3-day-a-week back split program where I'm hitting back 3 days a week. And I'll show you what it looks like here. All right. So this is my 3-day-a-week back routine that I'm going to carry off into the next off season. I'm already starting to see some crazy stuff happening. So I'm really excited for August 23rd. But Monday, back in triceps. We're going to hit our seated cable rows, lat pull downs, T-bar rows, and our machine pulls. Like I said, just a lot of pulls, really focusing in with that mind-muscle connection to the lower back, really making a conscious effort to flex as hard as I can so I can get as much mechanical tension in that area as I can. And then just one set or one exercise for triceps. You don't need a whole bunch. I'm doing triceps with pretty much all my back days, so I do 3 or 4 sets of seated tricep extensions, and I'm good to go. And of course, I'm hitting abs, I'm hitting lower abs. I've done a lot of upper ab work in my time, and they're pretty good and pronounced. So now it's time to bring up the lower abs and really hit that hard with our weighted leg raises. Tuesday is our leg day and our bicep day. Now, I've already done this routine last week. When I did leg day and then I had to do biceps, it sucked. My legs were so taxed I could barely stand. So I'm switching it around. I'm still going to be able to hit legs really hard, so it's not an issue. So we're going to start off with dumbbell curls, and then our preacher curls and hammer curls. That's just hitting a lot of different angles, and then of course hitting the hammer curls with the brachialis so that the biceps can pop a little bit more. That's one of the things that I see for myself is, they look great from like a front double bicep, but when I do a back double, it's not really looking that great in my eyes. This is not a judge critique, it's my own critique, because I can look at myself and know, okay, this needs to be brought up. I cannot bring these other body parts up without bringing the other things up. So it's a lesson for you guys. Always be harsh on yourself more than other people are. That's how you be great. Then we're going to hit our legs. So we're going to do wide stance leg presses. And that's going to more focus on the adductors still. I'm still heavily focusing on adductors. Then we're going to move into ham curls, leg extensions, and glute bridges. Really just hitting everything all surrounding the legs. Yeah, you should do a quad focus day and a glute hamstring focus day, but since it's not really my focus. The head judge actually came back. I think you guys have seen my show day video and you know what happened, but long story short, I competed in class I wasn't supposed to. That's why I said earlier I can compete with the big boys. Those guys were 20 pounds heavier than I was. There was a mistake made backstage. They had me in there with them, and I still placed 4th. So not terrible, but not great. Also, me and my coach showed pictures to everybody else. Kind of don't agree with the placing, but it is what it is. He had me as high as 2nd. So it is what it is. We're going to prove him wrong. So, but back to my point is, I am focusing on my back, not legs, so that's why we're hitting everything all in one day. So that is legs and biceps, with biceps being first. Then we move on to chest. This is chest, abs, and calves, really. So always doing for chest inclines. That is it. I am doing nothing but inclines here on out until I am told my upper chest is overpowering the rest of my chest. Okay? I want to stand there and have my chest protrude out so far it is going past my front delts. That is my goal. That is what I want. So we're hitting machine incline presses as the first move, then going into incline flies, and then really repping it out for the dumbbell presses. Typically for me, what I've adopted so far is higher intensity rather than volume. So I'm doing more heavier weights, 6 to 8 reps, 3 to 4 sets. And for the incline dumbbells, I'm mixing in volume. So I've said before many times, everything works that we do. Don't prescribe to one ideal or ideology of training. Everything that we do in training, everything that's been proven to work for individuals works. So find what works for you. I use everything. I don't really do intensifiers anymore or drop sets just because it's just a waste of time. I could put that time into another set. That's just personally how I feel. I don't feel like they really bring much to the table other than just, to get a nice pump afterwards. So, hitting incline press, I would do like 12 reps, somewhere around there. If I do any more of that, I'll go heavier just so I can make sure that I'm hitting the 12. Then we're doing our weighted leg raises for our lower abs, and then of course calf raises. What I like to do personally, first of all, never do seated calf raises. Those fucking suck. What you want to do is either a donkey press or a standing calf raise. So donkey press was really great. I feel like for me personally, it takes all the tension out of my back, and it just feels a lot better. Puts it all through my waist instead of loading on my back and crushing my fucking spine. I have past sciatic pain, so I'm not trying to have that flare up for anything. So that is why I do the donkey calf presses. Moving on to Thursday, back and triceps. This is another heavy day. We're going to do weighted pull-ups, dumbbell rows, close grip lat pull downs, and then to finish off, seated machine pulls. I really want to emphasize that you don't have to do weighted pull-ups for anything, but I feel like I need to. I want to. I can do 15 pull-ups just fine. I want to make sure that I'm really getting the most out of it. So if I can do 8 to 10, 6 to 8 reps with a higher weight, I'm going to do it. I feel a lot better. Yeah, you're not really going to get a pump, from that kind of style of training, but you're not going to care once, that muscle's really growing quick. So, and then of course, taking it back to the basics with dumbbell rows. Again, doing those nice and heavy. Our close grip lat pull downs. How I usually like to do it is when I'm sitting in there, I'm not having my crotch all the way into the machine. I'm kind of having it like across like the top portion of my knee, and then I'm making sure I bring it like right in front of me. Not like here, but like right in front, right around there. And that really feels really good on my lower lats, and I can really feel it. Seated machine pulls is just whatever. It's just, a pull, for a few reps. And then tricep push downs. So, got this from a man named Paul Carter. He set up a bench and kind of had it at an incline and did his push downs that way. Reason being is, if you want to load it heavy, it really starts to become a core exercise because you're trying to stabilize so much. When I did what he was doing and I saw the results and I saw just the ease of it, it felt so great. So I'm going to keep doing it like that. I really like it. I go early enough in the morning where it's not really an issue for me as far as crowdedness goes. So that's how I do my tricep push downs. And again, those are nice, hard, and heavy. So it's all good there. Friday, this is biceps, shoulders, and abs. One thing I don't have on here that I'm actually going to add now is calcio shrugs. Shrigs. Yeah, great. Shrugs. But we'll get to that in a second. So here we're going to do a lot of dumbbell work or a lot of bicep work. So starting off with dumbbell incline curls, really get the blood flowing in there, then head right over to preacher curls. I usually do this with an easy bar curl bar. just because it feels a lot easier and better than trying to use some dumbbells. And it doesn't hurt my wrist as much just using a straight bar. So I'll do a easy bar preacher curl. And then, of course, I'm doing ham curls to bring in the brachialis. Sometimes I do crossbody, or if I'm going to do it in front of me, I'll kind of twist my arm kind of in this position, and I'll raise it up like that, right? I did it earlier in the week, last week. It felt really good rather than across the body. I feel like across the body, I can kind of feel my biceps a little bit more than my brachialis. So that's why I kind of have it out like that. It's almost like mimicking a easy bar curl when you're holding it and you're doing it like that. So just, a tip if you want to take it from there. Moving on to shoulders, always starting off with rear delt flies. I just really love doing rear delt flies on the functional trainer. It just hits so good. I don't think I'm ever going to move away from that for a while until I get bored with it, which I don't think I will. So that is staying in the rotation. And then we have side laterals. That's just dumbbell work. Sometimes I do it seated, sometimes I don't. Nothing really special there. And then just like I said, the Kelso shrugs. That is just a shrug movement on a chest-supported T-bar row. We have what's called the humbler. I'm sure you've seen it in some gyms, but it's a heavy, heavy piece of equipment. I mean, I'm putting a plate on each side, and it is good enough. I'm getting 8 reps out of that and moving on. There's no need for an ego on that machine at all, because if you try, you will be humbled very quick. So that is my Kelso shrugs. And then we have weighted leg raises, of course, hit our abs again. And then, last but not least, Saturday is back. Now, I did 2 back movements you saw, or 2 back days you saw that were heavy, right? So now we're getting into the kind of the minutia of back training. Starting off with hyperextensions to really bring in those erectors and really kind of get some muscle down in that lower back. Feels really good. Did it last week, and we're just going to keep it in. Just love it. Lat cable pullovers. Now, a lot of guys will do it kind of, they'll pull down like this, right? But I found that it really works my triceps, and eventually I just don't feel it in my lats. So what I've been doing is I've been doing a supinated grip with I have like the attachment that's kind of like a nylon loop. So I grab it and I have a bent arm, right? And I'm really focusing on flexing the lower lats and bringing it in. As I'm bringing it in, I'm coming up, and then as I lower it down, I'm going down like this. So I did it last week, like I just said earlier. I loved it, so it's going to stay in. Close grip pull-ups, then followed by regular pull-ups. This is a killer. These are volume. I will do as many as I can without breaking form, and then I'll do like 2 sets of that for the close grip, and then I'll head into the regular grip immediately after and do 2 sets of that. And that just destroys any hope of any additional work after that. But I am a maniac, and after that, I'm doing seated pullovers. Really just a roundabout, just to kind of, put everything into fruition and just really hammer it down, hammer it out. Not really going for too many reps, kind of staying at the 8 to 10. Just because I'm pretty taxed and I don't need any more of that. So that is the plan. That is the goal, to bring up back. And there's really no way to do it but to do it. And then we'll do this show. We'll get the feedback from there. And then it's into the off season. Show is the Night of Champions in Towson. Is on August 23rd. If you're in the area, you want to support your boy, come out, say hi. more than happy to, talk with you and shoot the shit. But just know I am there to work, so probably going to be in the zone until after the show's done. This one is a personal one for me. Last show I really came in at my best that I've ever looked, and it was kind of a slap in the face. I didn't get to go into the overall, which really sucked. If I competed in my class, I definitely would have been there. Um, I'm like at the cap of my weight class at 176. So, we'll see where we land. Right now, fasted, I'm sitting at 189, and we're still lean, just a little bit fuller, just a little bit more water. So, fingers crossed we stay in there. If we don't, we don't. And we're just going to be competing with the big boys from here on out, which, that's what we want anyway. I don't want to stay in the 170s. I've got room to grow, a lot of room to grow. So we're going to get there. We're going to get there in a smart way. We're going to get there safely as we can. Because quite honestly, I have a lot more to live for than just bodybuilding. But I love bodybuilding. I love what it does for me and my mind. And, I love to compete and show the world that I can be the best. And I will be the best. So that is it, guys. Just a little short one just to kind of run down everything from recapping the show, the stage pictures, and the goals and the plan from here on out. We're almost there. We have 2 weeks till we start prep, which is, I think, the 28th of June. Starts 8 weeks out. So we're going to coast from here on out, see how everything goes. But I have a feeling this show really going to show out. So comment, like, subscribe, share to all your friends. Do all that shit. Peace.